In nomine di nostri Satanae Luciferi Excelsi. Hail Satan, ladies and gentlemen. It is your favorite dark sorcerer here, Michael Hayson, aka Angelus Son of Abaddon. Today, I'd like to just take a break from my normal routine to discuss some things that's been going on. And things that are kind of popping up on certain groups on Facebook and social media. Now, when we talk about Satanism, we know that there is demonolators, Luciferians, traditional, theistic, agnostic. Okay. But there's one dualistic path within Satanism that has sprung up since the 1980s, early 90s area. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is what we're going to be discussing today. Okay. Now, what is this topic? The answer is quite simple: atheistic Satanism. Okay. Now, a lot of arguments on both sides come forth. But when it comes down to it, atheistic Satanism is nothing more than dualistic. It is hypocrisy at best. And we're going to discuss why right here, right now. Okay? And a former friend of mine really said it best. And we're going to talk about Vocalocus aureax magus a little bit as well. So where should we start? Well, let's start at the beginning. For the first 20 years that the Church of Satan was around, not even that really, more within the first, let's go with 6 years. Less, okay? It was purely devil worship. Even Anton Zanderleve himself admitted to Bob Larson that he believed in an actual devil and that it is devil worship. Around 1974 area, a shift from devil worship into a form of agnostic took place. Some changes took place that even some of its own members observed. Some of them even left and went their own way. The founder of the Temple of Set was one of these individuals who acknowledged the shift from devil worship to agnostic. And things even transpired and transgressed even further when Anton himself stepped down. When he stepped down from being the Black Pope of Satanism. Blanche Barton, in all her divine wisdom, within the 3 weeks that she was the head of the COS, the Church of Satan, took it into purely agnostic perspectives of, oh, we don't believe there's an actual, you know, devil, an actual Satan, but because we need scientific proof. But hey, we do believe there's something out there. Okay, there's something out there. But after her 3 weeks stint as being the leader and head, the magistrate of the COS, she stepped down and resigned. Now she's still supposedly with them. And now we have Peter H. Gilmore. Peter H. Gilmore, okay, out of New York. Close friends with Anton Zander LaVey, where they met in 1987, New York. This is where it gets interesting because of the fact that we've seen how it went from devil worship at the beginning to agnostic, and now Peter H. Gilmore has taken it into purely atheistic accounts, playing the bad guy role, the adversary to the church. Okay. He even quoted in one of his videos that when we say "Hail Satan," we mean hail ourselves. Now, there's a backdrop behind that saying as well, which we'll get into here in a little bit. But I just want you to have a little bit of a history lesson here of the Church of Satan. Now, since the late 80s, early 90s, when we had what is known as the modern day witch hunt, known as the Satanic Panic, we viewed the aspects of a shift, conscious shift, spiritual shift, and branches shifted out of that. Now, keep in mind that there was one form of Satanism that predates them, and that was the Order of the Nine Angles. The Order of the Nine Angles was and still is a traditional satanic path that's been around since the 18th century. There has been rumors that they go back as far as the 17th century, but personally, myself and my colleagues have not, and I repeat this, have not found any proof stating to that contrary. We do know that they go back to the late 1800s. That much we know. So now that we've had the Satanic Panic, we now have Luciferianism, Michael W. Ford's work. We have the Thelema system, Turks Uzij, who wrote the demonic Bible, Luciferian aspects. We've got agnostic still, but guess what? In comes Jeremy Adam Capps. Jeremy Adam Capps. A lone little fucker that we've never heard of before, nor have anybody ever heard from him since. Wrote a book called The Christian and Satanic Bible. Okay. Now, don't get me wrong. Utilizing Satanic Bible along with that of the Christian Bible was pretty interesting and clever. Specifically, putting together a method of scripture that proves that Satan is the God of this world. In fact, one of the reasons I know the Bible so well is from that book alone. But more so because I spent about 7 years amongst the sheep. Now, what's interesting here, and hey, John, what's going on, man? All right. I'm trying to see what this. Okay. Okay, you get rid of that message. All right. So, anyways, now here we have Christian Satanists. We've got Christian witches. Everything has diverted into Christianity, way of thought, way of thinking, such as atheists. Okay. And you remember that name I said earlier? Vococolacus aureax magus. This is where he comes into play. Through the Cathedral of the Black Goat in the earlier days before he and a few others left. He wrote a book called The Book of the Divine Black Flame of Satan. One hell of a good piece of material right there. And I'm going to say this again, one hell of a piece of material. This book speaks truth along anything I've ever seen when it comes to satanic root workings, philosophy wise. Now, he put a thought form forth right here. Atheists believe in this: there is no God, there is no devil, there is no heaven, no hell. Atheistic means that you've already made up your mind that nothing else exists, not even the idea or idealism that magic exists. That's what atheism means. Look it up. It literally means you don't believe in anything. What you see and can be proved by science alone, that is what you believe in. All right? Satanism means devil worship. Someone who worships devils, Satan, Lucifer, Azazel, and such. All right? Now, to put these two words together, atheistic Satanism, that's just a load of hogwash. Sorry to say, but that's bullshit. You cannot be an atheist and a devil. And Vococolacus aureax said it best himself. If you believe you're the Satan, if you believe that you are the devil incarnate himself, does that not make 7 billion Satans in this world? You see, it doesn't make sense. But yet, if you delve into the mythology, linguistics even, Satan in Hebrew means ha-Satan. Okay, ha-Satan is translated into adversary, whereas el-Shaitan in Islamic traditions translates into accuser. Even in Judaism, accuser, tempter, adversary, opposer. Okay, he who opposes. Okay, now you look at the COS today, atheistic Satanism at its best, opposing everything that they can. You look at the TST, the Satanic Temple, going around suing over women's rights to have an abortion, to have a Baphomet statue next to the Ten Commandments. Okay, even though even I've got to admit that's equality right there. Just putting those two side by side. But it's like kicking a hornet's nest. Okay, what did they think was going to happen? Especially in the Bible Belt. Okay, now consider this. Then they take it up a notch. Now, anybody who has a difference of opinion when it comes to Baphomet and the representation of Baphomet, they get to sue. Why? Because they don't like that ideal? because they didn't like how Hollywood portrayed Sabrina, the adventures of Sabrina, and the way they methodically presented Baphomet in the center of a school. For years now, I don't know about you, but I've seen a lot of people in Satanism, no matter Luciferian, no matter if it's traditional, no matter if it's just to plain a satanic coven, create a school for Satanism to teach Satanism from all these different traditions within this one topic. But yet, atheistics don't want it happening. They want to oppose this idea. They want to oppose unification. If you're not on their terms, then you're screwed. You're anally invaded with a court order to cease and desist. Okay? Basically meaning you're being sued, just like Sabrina, the TV show, which, to be fair, is an actual, honest representation of Satanism in general, the thought. Now, I don't go around going, Hail Satan, or thank God to Satan, thank Hail Satan, or say, for an example, thank Satan for this. I don't really go around doing that unless I'm asking him specifically for something. But that's just me, okay? But the kicker of all this is that Satanism is not about the herd conformity. It's about the individual, okay? Think about that for a minute, okay? Just think about that. Satanist is a lone wolf. A Satanist is a lone wolf, okay? A Satanist is a lone wolf, all right? I have gone toe-to-toe with three counties of Christians in the Bible Belt and walked away victorious. Just me against all of them. Okay? Because I was using knowledge and wisdom. I used the legal system in the public to do my bidding. And I sat back and I watched them make fools of themselves, putting forth all these rumors and doing all this religious hate stuff, and literally discrimination against my personal religion, okay? My personal philosophy, okay? Now, in the end, I pulled the rug out from underneath them. You see what I mean? A Satanist is a lone wolf. Can we run in packs? Yeah, that's what a satanic coven is. 6 to 13 members. Interesting. But here's the other kicker. There's an argument that states that Satanism is a philosophy, not a religion. Well, according to the US government, under religious protected path workings, if you have a following, if you have a foundation, if you have doctrine, you're a protected religion. Okay? So therefore, legal rights are involved. All right? So right there, it's can be classified as both. Now, in the Satanic Bible by Anton Zandalove, he put forth 4 books rather. The Book of Satan, the Book of Lucifer, the Book of Belial, and finally the Book of Leviathan. Okay, in that order. Now, in atheistic Satanism, there are codes, rules, conducts, okay, regulations, such as the 9 satanic sins, the 9 satanic statements, the 11 satanic rules of the earth, and the 21 satanic points. Okay? Now, I find it interesting that stupidity is the number one satanic sin. Number one. Look it up, Google it. You can go underneath Peter H. Gilmore's book, Satanic Scriptures. Okay? You can go underneath the Satanic Bible put forth by Anton Zander LaVey. I believe it's in the book of Lucifer, if I'm not mistaken. Okay? Just about all of these so-called root workings in Satanism follow this particular code of conduct. Okay? But yet, I want to direct your attention right to the end of the Satanic Bible by Anton Zander LaVey. A little section called the Enochian Keys. Okay? Now, what's ironic here is that in the last paragraph, the very small lines, at the very bottom, it says, and I quote, "Be friendly unto me, for I am one and the same, the true worshiper of the highest and infallible King of hell." Wow. Mind blowing, isn't it? So today, my brother sends me a photo while I'm at work, and he's in a conversation with this douchebag. Okay, and I'm calling this guy a douchebag because of the attitude he put forth towards my brother. Okay, who runs the Defenders of Satan organization. All right. Now, what's interesting here is he said, if you are theistic, I want nothing to do with you. Okay. That's something we can respect, you know, but he didn't leave it at that. No. He took it even further. And let's just say it got very vulgar after that. All right. Now, this is what happens when you put truth out there. You're going to meet resistance. Okay. When you try to tell Christians their wrongdoings, such as, say, for an example, the fact that their God is actually Satan, 2 Corinthians 4:4, and chapter 4, verse 4, where they have it with the little g. That's right, little g. Satan is the God of this world. Okay. Oh, no, no, can't have that. No. Okay. Or you look at how many Bibles they've created. Even the Jehovah Witnesses keep reproving their Bible by republishing new versions of it, rewriting it even, which goes against Revelations chapter 22, verses 18 and 19 in the King James Version. If any man adds or takes away from this book, the same shall be done out of the book of life. Have you ever tried speaking scriptures to a Baptist, any form of Christian? It's hilarious. When you sit back, you keep cool, and you just simply quote scripture. I had a bishop from Canada standing in the back of a sanctuary, pitching a pom pom meltdown because he found out I was a multi faith minister. Okay, a multi faith minister. Okay. Now, what's funny here is all I did was quote scripture. This guy was spitting mad, face beat red. I'm talking pounding that fist. And yes, the guy's an apostolic. Okay. Very, very passionate guy. What's ironic though is that even the pastor of that church, Wade Townley, he basically shunned myself and my family. right after that, I had a I took my son's mother to church one day because she's a Baptist. You see, I have no problems with that. It doesn't affect me one way or the other. They have their belief and I have mine. Do I agree with it? No. But it doesn't mean I'm not going to do that for her. Okay. So one day I took her and my son to this church. One of the sisters there decided, hey, I want to pass around your son. Okay. My son was probably about 6 months at the time. He's now 2. He'll be 3 in September. So she's passing him around, finally gets up there to the altar where the Bishop McKinley Sr. from Prince Edward Island and Wade Townley, the pastor, is sitting. Okay? So here's the funny thing. He's loving, the fact that this kid is right there. My son is right there. Until he found out whose son it was. Then he passes him off to Bishop McKinley, who passes him off to one of the sisters nearby. And my son ended up right back to me and his mother. Okay? This is Christianity. If you don't believe their bullshit, if you do not believe their lies, you are shunned. If you try to stand against atheistic Satanism, you have the same hiccups, the same exact hiccups. I quoted something about Anton Zander LaVey in the Church of Leviathan once, which was an online group. And I defended myself quite well within the guidelines of rules within that group, which was run by Robert Fries. Okay, Pope Robert Fries, who also runs the traditional Church of Satan. Okay. Now, what's ironic is he's now a Christian. Robert Fries is now a Christian, spewing satanic stuff. Very ironic there, but that's his path. That's what he feels like he needs to do. Okay. But here's the thing. While I was in this group, I defended myself nicely. And it's not just this one, it was also in a Wiccan pagan group as well. I posted something on Warlock, got bullied, hate speech, you name it. Same exact thing. And I protected myself through the rules of and regulations of the group, just like I did in the Satanic Church, the Church of Leviathan. And here's the kicker. Both times I was blocked from those two groups because I went to the admin and said, hey, you see what's going on here? Your rules say no bullying. Well, guess what? Bam. You get shunned. I was in a group about a few years ago, and this individual, and I've talked about this before, so I'm not going to get into it, said the exact same thing, but when I showed this person truth, I was banned. And since then, want nothing to do with me because I proved this individual wrong. Okay? You see, this is what happens in today's society. It is about my way or the highway. There is no equality. There is no form of unity. Okay? It's not about the arts and practices anymore. It's all about political bullshit. It's all about legal bullshit. And it's about stupidity, dualism, and hypocrisy. This is what Satanism is becoming more and more about. And the more this comes out, it is a Hebrew catch-22, Ethan. That's a perfect phrase for it right there. No pun intended. But anyways, my point is this. The more and more that you see these atheists out there taking on and corrupting a tradition, the more it's getting away from what it was and what it truly was meant to be. You see, Satanism was about understanding. It was about knowledge. It was about wisdom. It was about power. Now, it's basically pussyfooting around. And yes, I just used that term, pussyfooting around. Okay? Satanism has been watered down so much that the totem pole has now been lowered so far that anybody can be a Satanist. When it used to be, you had to be born a Satanist. You either are or you're not. Now, you got all these different types running amok. Everybody's got their own standards. Reverend Cesar 999 with his vampiric church goes out attacking everybody. But yet, I'm right. My radical thoughts, my radical being, my radical this and that. Well, guess what? No one gives a shit. No one gives a flying rat's ass. Okay? And it's really it's bugs a lot of people. Those who really want to learn, those who really want to grow, mature. Okay? They can't do this because every time they step up, you got all these fucktards out there gang banging them, basically anal raping them back into fucking Stone Age, into secrecy, making them feel ashamed because they want to learn this or that. That they dared to ask a question. Well, if memory serves, the Witch's Creed to know, to dare, to will, to keep silent, and to go forth. Now, what was that third one? What was that second one right there? To dare. Dare to ask. Dare to experiment. Dare to do something. But if Facebook isn't going to honor these rules and the admins aren't, what's the point of having these groups? What's the point of being in the groups? You can literally just keep a select few of people on your own friends list that truly want to learn. But you got to be careful on who you let in to your friends list because you may get into some of these profiles and you scroll down, say, 4, 5, maybe 8 max, and then it just cuts off. There's nothing there after that point. You go underneath the information about the individual sending you a request. But damn, bam, nothing there. Okay. But then again, it's the exact same thing with Facebook because you're not out there seeking friends. So Facebook is going to pick and choose. Oh, this is a friend suggestion for you. This person's sending you a friend request. Do you know how many people that supposedly sent me a friend request that actually didn't? That's right. They actually did not. It was Facebook. Yep. Talk about duality and hypocrisy. Oh, respect community standards. No hate speech, no bullying, no harassment. Uh, then why is Facebook hounding all these people that's done nothing wrong? Come to think about it, all these people reporting posts because they don't like the information that you put forth. For an example, I actually put forth a post once, and it was based off occultism, specifically that of the swastika, and somebody reported it. I went to Facebook and I said, look again. Not 5 hours later, that post was back up for everybody to see. You see, this is duality. It's conflict. It's adversity. It's trying to keep people into division, encampments, waging war, the fear tectonic plates. This plate is attacking this plate, and this plate is attacking this plate, and that plate is attacking that one. You see my point? It's hypocrisy. It's duality because in the same breath, they seek unity. They seek to bring people together. Atheistic Satanists want to enlighten the world, but they themselves hide from the reality of truth. That is true, Ethan. All Facebook groups are like that. Well, most of them, anyways. There's a few that I've been a part of, that I'm a part of, that is not like that. For an example, my group, the Order of the Black Thorn, my organization, is about the knowledge and wisdom of all paths. It's a spiritual organization of multi faith that is censored around, well, I wouldn't say censored, it's more built around the satanic creeds, the satanic thought forms with room to grow. Gives you a sense of belonging, but also a, something to work towards. The Defenders of Satan group run by um, Percival, okay? His group is about defending Satan and about defending Satanism in general. And he does it with facts, historical, mythological, and legal means. But then you have the Brotherhood of Satan, which is about practice. The Satanic Brotherhood out of New York, not much is really known of them, but yet they do reach out to those who inquire about certain things. Their information that they gave me, I still hold true to today. Whatever I preach, I always back it up. And two, I always make myself available to the public. Wow. Not too hard to keep up, really. But for the most part, yeah, a lot of Facebook groups are like that. Censored, watered down, corporate tools. And most of these groups are run by people that aren't even practitioners. They got nothing to contribute to any form, tradition, style, or path. Do you know how many witchcraft groups that I'm in, that I can go in and pull up at least 20 different posts right off the bat that have nothing to do with paganism, Wicca, Satanism, voodoo, voodoo, paleo, quimbanda, umbanda. 20 posts right off the bat. I mean, what does the magical arts have to do with what shoes you got or what purse you picked out? Okay, there's so much stupidity in these groups. It's uncanny. Exactly. Um, actually, salute the temple of the Mazajira, and I'm not really speaking for them. I'm not going to speak for them. That's up to Sumnus and Marcus to discuss with you. Um, but and that goes for all of you, not just salute here. But I'm going to give you my personal opinion on this, since I have been in following the Mazajira path workings now for little over a year. I'm in my 13th month as a follower of the Mazajira Cabal system. There are two things that I have found to be true with this foundation. Well, technically three. Number one, secrecy. Okay. They've always held a lot of information back not to overstimulate the populace. Number two, like everything, there is a hierarchy. Without order, there is nothing but chaos. Someone has to be at the top and somebody has to be at the bottom. Okay. The low end of the totem pole. And to make sure that as you grow spiritually and mentally within the path working, or path workings, I should say, that you're able to move up, and not to move up unless you are physically, mentally, and emotionally and spiritually prepared. Okay, this means no bullshit, no dogma, no stupidity, no laziness. You actually have to put forth the work. You have to show the work that you're learning and growing. Okay, and finally, the works that they do put out gives you a clear understanding about what they're about. Okay. I have right now three different PDF files that have been sent to me by them. I have every single book that they have out right now, with others planned. Okay. Now, if I step forth and I go to, say, Marcus, or I go to Sumnus himself and I ask a question, okay, for for to make things valid, I would send to both. Okay. But when I chose to follow the necromantic followings from the Tower of Atropi, and then I got into the other towers from the Tower of Crescent, the Tower of Umbra, okay, and the Tower of Melody, not mentioning the Tower of Stars, okay, which was most recently. You can see that there's a lot of questions that's going to arise. So if I went to one of these two men and I said, "Hey, I'm planning to do this type of ritual. What would you suggest?" Okay, this is what I have. This is what I'm planning. What do you suggest? Okay, this is called humbleism. Okay, you're humbling yourself before a superior magi, somebody who's been in that tradition a lot longer than you. It would be like you going up to a high priest or priestess, okay, when you're an acolyte. There's a reason why they don't show themselves or to teach you within the first 6 months or the first year. They're observing you to make sure that you are ready for that path working or to become an adept. More so, I can't tell you how many times Marcus has come back on questions that I've asked, personally asked him, and brought up other aspects that literally I had to put on the back burner because of the fact that I didn't think of all this stuff. So here I have to go into all this other research. I have to go collecting these other items that I did not have at the time. And then once I did get all this stuff in play, then I can do that ritual. Okay. Now, I may think, okay, I'll do this right here in my own personal altar room. But wait, something like this needs to be on the outside. Okay. See, this is why it helps to humble yourself and go to a superior mage. It doesn't matter if it's Sumnus Dreadwood himself, it doesn't matter if it's Marcus himself. Okay. It's a matter of humbleism. And here we also see the fact that a lot of good information has come from this. Even I know this because I've experienced it firsthand. It's like with all the times I've read these books over the last year, studied them, broken them down, I did not think to do this, 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 and this, and I didn't think about utilizing this, this, and this. You see, this is what a teacher does. This is what an educator does. When you become a priest or a priestess, your duties are to your coven, to your order, to your foundation, to your followers. Okay? And yes, even I've seen people rise and fall who try to walk this path. But I'm not going to sit there and tell you what to believe in. I'm not even going to tell you that you should or shouldn't. You either do it or you don't. That is solely up to you. All I can do as an educator is give you the material. And that's what I've been doing. Just like them. Let's see. Exactly. You see, there's a reason why it's called dedication and self motivation. You have to continuously do it. Well said, Ethan. Well, there's two aspects to that, Ethan, as well. You have the major magic, and then you have the minor. The minor are just illusions, cheap tricks that allow you to shape reality within a positive setting. But once you get into the greater magics, that's when things really click and you tend to see the greater mechanics behind everything, the inner workings. Exactly, Lolan. Elders. And that's exactly what they are. Priests and priestesses, it doesn't matter if you're an AGM, Ascended Grandmaster, it doesn't matter if you're the Black Pope. You are an elder, a priest and priestess, a magistrate. These are elders. They need to be respected because they've earned their right to be so. Okay? You hit that nail right on the head, Nolan. And it is a legal organization from what I can tell. And yes, I do my own homework before I get into bed with any organization. Just ask the Brotherhood of Satan. I had a friend of mine that was a part of that organization, and We got to talk, and I ended up telling him exactly where they were formed, where their HQs are, where they operate, and he just looked at me and said, "How the hell did you know that? You're not even a part of this organization." You see, it's called observerance. Observerance. Okay, when you observe your opponents, you can learn from them. Some of the best moves that I've learned is from my own enemies. Okay, I had a let's just say I had an instructor once, taught me personally, took me under his wing, made me his right hand man, his weapon, and then he betrayed me, made it personal, and I flat out destroyed his life using his own tactics against him. And by the time he realized it, he had no leg to stand on. You see, you can learn from your enemies, even if you don't agree with them. But here's the kicker: don't get too stagnant or too haughty, because eventually someone's going to do the same thing to you. There is always someone more potent and more powerful than you out there. I may be a practitioner of 30 years, but guess what? There's people out there that's been doing this a lot longer than me, that are more educated than I am. Now, I know that from what my friends tell me, it's kind of hard to believe. Trust me, I've met a few, and it can kind of get your juices flowing to the point where you want to go out and read more. You want to study more. You want to practice more. You want to experiment more. That's what it's about. Hey, Alpha Draconian, how you doing? So yeah, a lot of these things you can do, but just make sure to stay away from the duality and the stupidity, the hypocrisy, because this is what's going to tear you down. And Bophemet X. Yeah, I hear that, Bophemet. That's actually one of the reasons I pulled back from most of the groups that I was in. I don't even get into most of them. I think I've got like maybe 6, 7 dozen right now that I'm involved, that I'm in, according to Facebook groups. Except for I only get into probably 8 out of all of them. That's it. Just 8, if that. I get into my group, I get into dark sorcery, I get into a couple of the groups that I admin in. But outside of that, I have no need for groups. For me, it's more of main profile, main page. Come here to YouTube, do a video, share it to Facebook. You know, post some stuff on Facebook on the stuff that I'm studying and practicing. But that's it. You know, like you, there's a very few that I actually commune with, my own coven. And I've started. Come to think about it, I've actually started about a year or two ago. I started up a witch's den right here in this area. So I mean, right now it's a witch's den because we have about 2 to 3 members. But I've got another prospect that is wanting to join, so that makes it a coven. Any 3 or more is considered a coven. So, for those of you who don't know, but it is cool. Cool. Can't wait for that video to pop up. I'll definitely be watching that one. Exactly, John. It's how we grow and learn. If we don't humble ourselves, how are we to learn? That's like saying, well, I know everything. Well, if you know everything, then what's the point of practicing? What's the point of looking for teachers? What's the point of going into other traditions that you've never been in to learn from. The day you stop learning is the day you die. It's called stagnation. And that's when you need to hang up your athame in your altar robes and walk away because you are no longer interested in learning. And that's the thing about atheistics is the duality and the stagnation within their hypocrisy and duality. Like I said at the beginning, that's one of the reasons so many people have taken a stance against them. But you also got to take into consideration that's their path. It's their path. You may not like it, you may not want to be a part of it, but you gotta respect it. Eventually they'll learn or not. So yeah, actually it is. And I agree with you, Lolan. You know, becoming a part of that group, that franchise, was actually a good move on my part. It not only benefits Alfredo Martinez's group, but it also benefits me as well in mine. It's that franchise, that brand, as my as a friend of mine puts it, putting that brand out there and getting it out there. It's all about the art, the practice, and you're getting it from various different sources, from those who are intuitive, those who practice, say, for example, bone sorcery, sorcery with bones, those who do a lot of conjuring, those who are necromancers and Satanists and witches, warlocks, even. So you're getting them from a wide range, and that's one of the reasons I like dark sorcery. And you know, when Alfredo and I were talking about his group and where he wanted to take it, I actually gave him some pointers that were given to me before I started the Order of the Black Thorn. And here we are about a year or two later, and seeing how far he has brought the Order of the Black Thorn, seeing how far he and DH have literally banded together and made this into a franchise, basically. It's amazing. It shows, number one, it shows a sense of business. It shows, number two, it shows a sense of passion for the arts and practices. And three, it clearly sets that stage for unity, to where all of us are coming together and we're actually showing our own personal path workings. Okay. Now, a lot of you some of you have probably seen my videos on there. You've seen where I've taught a lot. Well, mostly I teach from various different topics, but I have done a couple live rituals on there, and I do have plans for more of them. But to see, like, say, Carrie Darkstar, okay, where she's done rituals, where she's actually shown you how to do things. Okay. Then you got Alfredo himself discussing things and breaking it down for you. Um, D.H. Thorne, who does all the tech stuff, but also kind of does, how should I say this? He also puts his unique spin on it through his personal intuitiveness. Okay. And then most recently, um, Alfredo had did a video with what's her name there? Talia, or Talia. There we go, Talia, um, from the Children of the Serpents. So, you got all this stuff going on. You know, I'm not really sure where that aspect's going, but time will reveal that aspect. as it does everything else. So, but yeah, and I concur with you, Ethan. But as for you, Joseph, when are you going to be putting up that video? You know, because I know you always record everything and then you edit and all that stuff. So let me know when you put that one out, because I would love to see that one, to see the what goes on. I'm actually excited to see that one. I have never worked with Marbrus before. You know, I've never worked with this Dietus before, so this demon. So to see your interactions with him and to see, your experience and to hear your personal experiences, with him, I can't wait to see it. I really can't. So, and that I do believe. But is there any questions upon what I've discussed here, or upon my what I've discussed in other videos? I figure while I've got this up and running, we've got quite a few people here. I'd open up the floor real fast and just see what you guys have for questions for me, if any. A ritual video? I've got a video. Not going to be doing that one. uh, Although I do those type of rituals out in the woods, but away from the public. I wouldn't even do that, on camera, but I'd be too worried about breaking the camera. But I like this computer. It's my brand new one. Oh no, it's got a crack in it. Damn it. It was just a nipple. But anyways, um, there was actually a story about something like that a while back that I heard. It was about a guy a king that wanted a new upholstery, new clothes, and it was funny because of the fact that they brought in this guy that was renowned for his clothing making, and the king wanted something completely new. So the guy sat there and he you know, did this and the fake needle, all this stuff, and began patching it up, and the king actually wore it, and he was actually walking around naked, and then all of a sudden says, "Sire, aren't you embarrassed?" The guy says, "For what?" "Get your furry butt out of my altar room." "Hey, don't you get mouthy with me. I'll beat your butt." My familiar decided to make an appearance. "Come on, baby. Come on, girl." So, aha. Surprise, it's a pop-up kitty. Say hello, Bella. Say hello. Okay, yeah, that's as close as you're gonna get to a hello. But anyways, yeah, it's So, anyways, the guy, tells the king, "Hey, you're naked," and he's stunned, completely baffled, and then executes the guy that did the clothing. Still funny, but the moral behind it is it's up to the individual on if they want to do that. But and you believe what you believe. So yes, Ethan, that is very, very true. Bottle of tequila. Speaking of which, how about that? That is old Mexican tequila. Oro. Cool. So yeah, I do have a few bottles in here, but they're only for the gods. They're only for those I work with, unless I'm doing a ritual that requires drinking out of the chalice. But anyways, any other questions? Wow, that's a long time without a drink. I think the last time I drank was about a year ago. Yeah, just about a year ago. It was right after I was. No, actually, it was like what was it? About a year or two ago. Yeah, it was a little bit after my son was born. I stopped drinking. Well, thank you, Ethan. So, but anyways, all right. It's been an hour and 7 minutes and 10 seconds. Ooh, new world record. Yeah, not really. But anyways, so yeah, okay, yeah, go right ahead, Alpha. Yeah, and I don't take down any of my videos, so they're always going to be here for you. And have you ever done a video high? A ritual high? Uh, kind of yes and no. I was doing alchemy one night or one afternoon at right here in my altar room, and I had the candles going. I was mixing a bunch of stuff, and let's just say I was glad I was actually sitting in a chair. Yeah. Let's just say that sulfur, graveyard dirt, um, dragon's blood powder, and red powder, sandalwood powder, and white sage don't go well together. Yeah, I've heard some things about those. I used to be friends with a guy that lived down in Texas. It was right outside of what was it, Reno, Texas, I think, which is right outside of Clarksville, Texas, the northeastern aspect of them. It was a guy. The guy lived in Reno, Texas, there, and he always did shrooms while doing rituals. Some of the stories that guy told me, whew, surprised he's still alive. No, haven't heard of that one. Well, you consider sage is good for a lot of things. When I go to powwows, because I'm also Native American on my dad's side, so when I go to powwows, I always bring a bag of tobacco with me, because when I go to the firekeeper, whose main goal is to maintain the fire during the powwow. So as long as that powwow is going, it's his or her responsibility to maintain that fire. But he also blesses people, and so they use white sage. Okay, that is one of the biggest things Native Americans use. Okay, so what you do is it's an offering, it's a gift, and when you go to a powwow, you give it to him as a gift in return for his services. So much like in the old days where people would go to a witch, warlock, sorcerer, or whatever, and give them fish or furs in exchange for their services, especially if they didn't have the money, the currency to actually pay. So, but anyways, after a long year of working and September 1st through the 3rd comes around, it's a great time to go down to the powwows and, to the powwow grounds and actually get saged, and have them to bless you and to cleanse you of all that negativity. You know, I think the next one is this September, the 1st through the 3rd. They set up on a Friday and they tear things down on a Monday. So you got like 3 days of going, and it's a big powwow. You got different tribes. You got the Anunnaki. You got the Apaches. You got the you got the whole wide range of them, including Penobscot and Passamaquoddy that shows up. You know the Mictian tribe and all that. You got all these tribes that come together for this powwow, and it's awesome. And you got stuff that you can buy. You got services that you can do. You can even find somebody to teach you how to do those dances. So I mean, it's awesome. It's in Newport, Maine. At least mine is, which is about from where I am, probably about 45 minutes away. Just about, yeah, about 40, 50 minutes away area. So yeah, give or take, depending on the route that you take on getting there. But yeah, it's a pretty good it's a pretty good session. You got a lot of trinkets, things that you can turn into Orcrux. You got I got handmade moccasin boots, the real deal out of elk that was made for me. I mean, all I did was pay for the material, and the guy actually made them from personally himself and sent it to me, which was awesome. But yeah, you're welcome, Alpha. True, it can be, and I definitely will be looking into that. It's definitely something to look into. You just got to be careful on what you're doing and where you go, what state you're in. Like right now, there's been a lot of well, let's just say busts around this area, and a little hit and run from time to time. Ironically, tonight, my better half and I were out driving and saw where we got the police department. That entire road was literally blocked off, and we didn't know why. So when we cut across the bridge, we had a good sized view of what was going on there, and somebody had hit a pedestrian. So right, and ironically, right in front of the police department itself. Hilarious. That's like an ambulance backing into your car and an officer seeing it happen. You can't get any more luckier than that. True. Although I wouldn't state that to him. You might get scalped. From what I understand, even using the term warlock or sorcerer, within Native American viewpoints, you'd actually get stoned, as in stoned to death or scalped type stuff. You want to use the term shaman or healer. So, personally, I don't condone doing any form of mind altering items, narcotics, or anything when doing ritual because it gives off a state of falsity within readings. But it helps some people do it. So, the way I look at it is to each their own. What did you think, Alpha? I was actually picking on a coworker last week just on that. Yes, except for he'd be on foot, but still funny. But anyways, yeah, it is late. It's 12:06 a.m. Welcome to Wednesday, ladies and gentlemen. And I gotta be at work in less than 12 hours. I got a 12 to 6 shift tomorrow. Oh, well, later today. My last day for the week. So guess what comes on to the next 3 days after that? Rituals, videos, lessons. And I'm beating my putty cat because she's being mouthy. And she's purring. You're just as weird as I am. Ah, there. But anyways, yeah, she likes getting her butt beat. Just like she's just as weird as her daddy. So cats, snakes, dogs. Yep. Personally, I like the huskies and the wolves. Those are my favorites. The ones I always thought were weird was the dobies. Damnedest things. They don't even bother to stand up before they jump off the couch. They just basically front paws down, slide off. Hind legs just a dragging behind them. First time I saw that, I was a kid, and it was like, "What the frig's wrong? What the hell's wrong with you, dog?" But cats seem to be my familiars, so. But anyways, I'm gonna sign off of here, and I want to thank everybody who's participated and asked questions, and uh, there's actually a couple of oleums that I would recommend. I'll do a video on that, but Alpha, either tomorrow night or Thursday, so that kind of just talk a little bit about oleums and herbs and stuff like that that you can mix together. In fact, I was thinking about adding that into my sorcery series that's kid friendly. So I wanted to do a series for kids that were like teenagers and stuff and up, that wanted to get into like paganism, Wicca, Wiccan practices, Satanism, witchcraft in general, maybe even shamanism, Druidism, or whatever path that they're attracted to. So that's why I started that series. So I mean, the sorcery series is pretty good. What was that nip for? You trying to tell Daddy to get off the computer? So yeah, but like I said, I've also got plans for other videos too. So yeah, I think I will do my next video. I think I'll do one on oleums and alchemy. Yeah, exactly, alchemy, herbalism. Mixing together herbs and stuff. And I'll even show you a few of my personal techniques. Like I said, I'll do that either tomorrow night or Thursday. Okay, because I have Thursday through Saturday off. So, all right. So, with that said, I hope this has been educational. I hope it's been enlightening. I do want to thank everybody that's participated. And you can always get in touch with me on Messenger, Facebook, or even just leave, you know, a message here. I'll always reply. All right. But I also want to point out real fast that in February, I'm going to be taking a couple weeks off from Facebook. Okay. People can still get in touch with me on Messenger, and you can get in touch with me here on my personal channel or that of Dark Sorcery. Okay. Channel. All right. Because I will continue to be doing those, but that's just about it. I'm just going to cut back on the Facebook for a couple of weeks. Um, Kind of a vacation, so to speak. I think I'm a Facebook addict. I wonder if they make AA for that. No, I'm joking. But all right. But with that said, have a good night, ladies and gentlemen.